Hi friends, this is Angelica. Thanks for joining me here on the Greetery YouTube channel. There is a new collection coming to the Greetery shop this Friday. It's named Urban Jungle, and today I'm going to walk you through the new Petal Pusher products that's in this collection. We're going to start with the new Petal Pusher background die. This die cuts dots on your background, and then it die cuts the leaves and petals. So I've already die cut 2 white cardstock panels, and I backed one of the panels with blush pink cardstock. This way you can see the pink peeks through under the petals, and then the pink dotted background really highlights the flowers and leaves. This background is absolutely lovely alone. Or you can use the new Petal Pusher stencil set to add colors to the petals and leaves, and I will show you that in a couple minutes. So this is a 5-piece stencil set, and it does come with a true to size stencil guide. Each stencil is numbered, and then there's an A2 card size outline on each stencil to help you line up your card panel correctly. There's also a coordinating Petal Pushers Blooms die set. There's 14 dies in this set. I've already die cut white cardstock off screen, and I inked the die cuts with Distress Oxide inks. Now I'm going to finish putting the flowers together on screen. There's 4 little circles in this die set for the middle of the larger flowers, and I'm using my wax pencil and a small drop of glue to attach them to the flowers. There's also 2 smaller blossoms in this set, and then a variety of leaves. The flowers can also be layered, and I did layer the daisy-shaped flowers. The last product we are going to look at before putting some cards together is the new Little Labels Stamp and Cut combo set. The included die cuts the label, and then you can stamp a wired frame on the label. There's a nice selection of sentiments in the stamp set, so you can make sentiments for several different occasions. There's thank you, hello, happy birthday, just a note. So there's a lot of use you can get out of this stamp set. So I am making thank you cards today. I picked the large thank you sentiment, and then there's small words in the stamp set too, so you can build on your sentiment. So depending on what small sentiment you pick, if you want to use one, the large sentiment goes above or below the small words. Now we're going to jump right into making some cards. So I have the card panel that I showed earlier of the Petal Pusher background die that I backed with blush pink cardstock, and I'm using the Petal Pusher stencil set to add color to the flowers. The flowers are spaced apart really nicely, so you can use several colors if you want. For this first panel, or for the first stencil, I did use saltwater taffy and ripe persimmon, and the second stencil is the daisies, and I used scatter straw on all of the daisies. Then you have the smaller blossoms on this third stencil, and I'm using dried marigold on this third stencil. The next stencil adds details to the leaves, and I picked peacock feathers for the leaves. And the 5th stencil, if you're just doing a regular background without the die cut, it will add the little dots to the background and then the lines on the leaves. But since I've already die cut this panel, I did not need to use the dots. For the center of the flowers, I did use some die cuts from the Petal Pusher Blooms die set. I inked them with vintage photo ink, and then I attached them to the panel with liquid glue. Stencils 3 and 5 will add a little dot of color to the center of the flowers, but I wanted to use the die cuts. And then the other white die cut panel that I had shown at the beginning, I did stencil that panel too. I poked out all the holes, and now I'm just adding drops of glue all over the panel, and I'm going to attach it to the black cardstock panel right next to the really cute drawing that my daughter put on my work table while I was not looking. So that's my cute little drawing that Vera left for me. I did add petal pusher blooms circles to the middle of these flowers, just like I did with the last panel. I just colored them black. And now I'm going to show you all three panels that I did. The first panel is with the die cuts, and I used a Copic marker to add dots to mimic the die cut backgrounds. And then this is a side-by-side with the pink background versus the black background. I think they all turned out lovely. I just love this concept. I am going to make one last card panel that has a completely different look than the three I just showed. And I'm just going to use the Petal Pusher Blooms dies on this panel. So I stamped seed catalog background stamp onto poppy seed cardstock with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I made a quick bouquet on the panel with some layered daisies and leaves. I glued the flowers on a bit off-centered. So I did take the panel over to my paper trimmer and I trimmed the edges to get the flowers to be in the center of the panel. And then I added thin foam squares onto the panel to attach the little label. And adding the thin foam squares onto the panel, it just really helped keep that label straight and flat because there is a lot of layers with the layered flowers. So that was the easiest way for me to attach the label, is putting the foam squares right onto the panel. So this finishes the introduction to the new Petal Pusher products. There's still a lot to see over on the Grootery blog, so be sure to head over there to get full details on all of the products in this collection. The release will be in the Grootery shop this Friday, June 9th at 10 a.m. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I want to thank the Grootery for letting me introduce these products to you. That's all that I have for now. Take care, friends.